now I know because you're Hollywood now, and you're going to look at this bread when you bring it home and think this is the enemy. I don't eat bread anymore. I'm a movie star.
I should think that,
You
Tom, but
better
I
eat it.
won't.
You better
I won't
eat it.
eat it.
All right.
I'm from Tennessee.
Okay, good.
I'm from farming people.
I know,
why-
but once this Hollywood gets its claws in you and you start seeing yourself in magazines and you're like, oh, why do I have all those chins? Then everybody starts to deflate.
Everybody's tiny.
I know.
Men here are tiny in their pants. I figured out they're really tiny in their pants. Like little legs and stuff.
I know. It's breaking bread. So nice to see you.
Don't
I
pop
know.
Do I look pretty because I want to be pretty for you?
You look so stunning. I can tell that you've become a big hit because you're starting to get all of the Hollywood.
You think so, Tom? I'm trying.
I don't. Let's stop it though.
But I haven't had any surgery.
Not yet.
I think I need it, though, now that I see myself on film. Like, whose neck is that?
It's the worst.
Now, I did put on eyelashes for you. My baby put new ones on that go up under, and she had touched my eyeball, but only for you, Tom Papa, because
Thank
you know
you.
you are my boyfriend.
I know.
In a Christian, biblical way.
Yeah. Well, look, we kind of made a mistake, and that's okay. We married other people, and
We missed a boat.
we just missed it. I don't know where I was in New Jersey when you were,
I was in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville,
at the University of
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
and we
doing
weren't
horrible
comedians
things.
yet, and we were like, there was just no way our paths were going to cross. So it's kind of awkward that now we just have to wait for our others to either get so fed up with us that they leave, or we just sin. So nice to see you. Your book is amazing.
Nice to see you.
Your book is so good.
Do you mean that because you're so smart and you've written books?
Yeah. Your book it flies by. It's really well written. I mean, it's
Thank you,
very
my
funny. The
darling.
story's great, of course. You can't, but some people could take that story and write a bad book. You wrote a great book. It's very funny and
Thank you.
and just flies.
Thank
Good
you,
on
my
you.
darling.
Last time we were together on this podcast, and we're friends, we talk all the time, but on the podcast, we were in another location, and it was before Netflix and all of it. It was before
wasn't it?
all of it.
I was on the Big Penny tour.
That's right.
I was I had, things were going well.
Things were going well. You felt like the momentum was kicking.
Yes.
But
I was finally one of the cool kids. Remember, I've always wanted to be a cool kid
I
like
know.
you.
We were both trying to be. Yeah, and you kept saying that I was one of the cool kids, and I was like, you don't know. I'm not one of the cool kids.
Tom Papa, you are the coolest. You are.
I'm fatter than I've ever been. I just went on my scale this morning, and I realized I was going to dial it in January, but then the fires hit and all the rest of it, and I haven't stopped eating or drinking.
You are drinking
Yeah.
alcohol,
Not a lot, but
a little wine because you're from Italian descent.
yes, a little red wine, maybe a martini. Not a lot. Do you drink?
I do. Not often now because menopause. I hate to say that to you because you're my boyfriend.
It's all right.
But I sweat. If I drink wine, I love wine. I went through, in perimenopause, I've never been a drinker, and I
Right.
just started craving it. And then I thought, I realized it was making me roll in the bed all night. It's the country people say, waller. I was wallering in the bed all night, and it was making me sweat, and then I wouldn't feel good the next day, even a glass.
Yeah.
And then, now that I'm doing a television series, and I have to learn so much.
Right.
Tom, there's no way I can do it. I
Yeah.
can't. I got to go to bed at 8 and take a bunch of supplements, magnesium and vitamin D and all that.
Is magnesium working for you to sleep?
It is.
It is?
It is.
I have to drop some in my wife's water when she's not looking. She doesn't like taking stuff, but she's having a hard time sleeping. And that means I have a hard time
I'm sleeping because she's wallering in the bed.
She's wallering. Yeah.
Yeah, if she would double up that magnesium, that would help.
Okay.
There's several things that she could be doing. You can see I act like I'm a doctor, and I kind of am.
Yeah.
Because I did a podcast years ago called Sweaty and Pissed, Menopause and More with my nurse practitioner who was brilliant. And we would talk about all these issues. And so your wife needs to switch it up. I know if she doesn't like taking stuff, that's going to be a booger.
Yeah.
But you got to switch things up like L-theanine, GABA, passion flower. So there's all those little kind of supplements, but you need to not do the same thing all the time because your body will get used to it. So you got to mix it up.
Okay.
It's awful. But
what about Ambien?
No, because, and I got on that for a while when my mama was in the hospital and I had to tour and stuff and I was freaked out. But that, they think, can lead to dementia. There's another one, trazodone, that people take instead of Ambien now, because Ambien just kind of knocks you out, but you really don't get good rest.
Right.
Trazodone, I think, lets you go into an REM.
Oh, that sounds nice.
But it's better to do natural.
Like red wine.
But that disrupts sleep. It makes your blood vessels expand, and then a woman will sweat all night, and then she'll be hateful to you the next day.
Right.
You don't need that, Tom.
No, I don't need that. I am. I'll admit it, not menopausal, but alcohol still has an effect. It doesn't make me feel great the next day, even though I love it and enjoy it, and just sometimes you just have to do it. Yeah, the next day it's not a real sleep. You kind of pass out and then waller. Yeah.
I did have a really good drink the other night to celebrate my baby's 27th birthday. She's out here with me on the television series. She's my makeup artist, and she drives me at night because I can't see Tom. Tom's not going to want to date me because I'm now an old woman with bad eyesight and I sweat all night.
Everything you're saying, I have the same, so we're in good shape.
But she is out here with me, thank the Lord, because I could not do all this and navigate this big city and the fire and all that. But we went to Craig's Hollywood spot.
Ooh, nice.
It's my second time to go, and they had a margarita, a skinny margarita with pomegranate juice, and you could make it spicy, and it was to die for.
Yeah, they're good. They're fun. It's good. My daughter's into makeup also.
You told me that.
Yeah.
Because you have one is in college.
One's
still
in college,
east.
and one is graduated. Yeah. And she's just a person now out in the world. But
is that what she wants to do? She wants to do makeup for television and film?
I think so, or fashion. She's kind of finding her way. She's still in school, so she has 2 more years to go.
Oh, you still got a baby at home.
Yeah, well, she's at school, but she has been home for 4 months, and she's very comfortable. And does not want to go back to school.
She doesn't?
No, not at all. She's like, this is fun. This is nice. And I was like, you know what? I think I might be too fun of a house. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to leave when I was 16. I was like, these people are riding me.
I did too. I could not wait to get out.
Right?
I know. And I'm renovating a house in Knoxville, and my baby, but she's the baby and she's bougie.
Yeah.
She's like, I want my wing too, and it's not a wing. But she said, I want to pick out my own fabric, and her daddy's like, you're not living here. You're not staying here.
My daughter just told me she's going to stay till she's around 31. I was like, no.
See, I want to get out and flirt and make out and get a man. Now, my baby wants a man. She wants a man, but she unfortunately has to be around middle-aged people all the time.
It's your baby that's the makeup artist? Okay.
My oldest is my boy that's got my 2 grandbabies.
Right.
Boys.
Right.
That he just sent
Just
me a
had
video
another
this
one, right?
morning.
Didn't you?
Well, James is now 19 months old.
Okay.
And my new baby, we had him during when I was shooting the movie, and so I went back and forth because he was born. But Charlie sent me a video of, I bought them butter, it's called, and at Christmas, and you slap it on the bottom of trees, and the birds love it during the winter, and so they can bird watch. And so they were standing there in their diapers and pull-ups, and the dog was right between them and eating pouches and watching the birds, the little birds that look like Elvis, the little chickadees that have the black head. And they were telling Grandmama about that. So he's my oldest. He's 31. He's married and got 2 babies. Maggie's my middle one, who is in nonprofit and raises money for Children's Hospital, who doesn't have anything, doesn't want anything.
Right.
You know, her nice clothes on the bottom of her Mazda X7 or whatever that is. She does not care.
Just
she
doing
just
God's
wants
work.
Yes. And then the baby is with me. That's bougie.
Right. So
And likes
she's
a good luxury item.
Yeah, and she knows that you're in Hollywood now and you're a big shot. So she's like, I'm sticking with Mom.
I'm sticking with Mom.
Right.
We're renting a house out here. And,
Okay.
For 7 months so I can shoot this.
Okay.
And every day, Tom, I wake up and go, what am I doing? I still cannot believe it.
It's amazing, but it's well deserved. I mean, your story it's made for a show.
Thank you.
It's also made for you to have a boyfriend in it, which is, and I keep waiting for the phone call. Does Chuck Lorre know who I am?
We need to tell him. You know what he does, I've realized, is that, and if you notice this on 2.5 Men and all the Mom and all these shows he's done, he uses a lot of the same people. He's very loyal to people.
Right.
And so Kristen Johnson plays my sister.
Nice.
She was in Mom.
Right.
Ryan Stiles plays my husband, who has walked off and left me in this.
Oh, that's funny.
After 33
He's funny.
years.
Yeah.
It's very funny. I wonder what he thinks of me.
He must adore you.
I hope he does.
But he's got to play a little, because he's left you.
He has left me, but yes, and later on he will want me back. You know, they always come back.
Yeah.
And then you can just tell there's people that because Ryan Stiles was in 2.5 Men, so there's people that they bring back and then. But but there will be boyfriends, Tom Papa, and you need, because you're so cute. Mm-hmm. A 59-year-old grandmother.
Yeah.
She's going to have boyfriends.
Smoking hot. There was a time at the Laugh Factory when he was putting together Bob Love's Bob Hart Abishola. Jeannie Yashere was there, and she was going to do a set for Chuck Lorre. And, as they were getting all settled in, I went up, and I had a really great set. And when I got in the car, I was like, I wonder if I should call my agent now and tell him I can't do the rest of the tour because I'm going to be on Bob Hart Abishola. And when I was in Cleveland doing my shows, I realized he had not called. But it's okay. TV's not for everybody.
But you've done a bunch of TV, haven't you?
I've done, I wouldn't say bunch. I would say a smattering.
Tom, you kill me.
I made this bread for you.
Oh, my God.
I baked this morning.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, you can feel it. It's still warm. Mm-hmm.
Bomb.
Now, listen.
I said Bob.
I know you're
Who's
on
Bob? Bob Abishola thing.
Bob Abishola.
And I finally got get Billy Gardell. We can tell that later. What?
Oh, yeah. When, now I know because you're Hollywood now. And you're going to look at this bread when you bring it home and think, this is the enemy. I don't eat bread anymore. I'm a movie star.
I should think that, Tom, but I won't.
You better eat it.
I won't eat it.
All right.
I'm from Tennessee.
Okay, good.
I'm from farming people.
I know, but once this Hollywood gets its claws in you and you start seeing yourself in magazines and you're like, oh, why do I have all those chins? Then everybody starts to deflate.
Everybody's tiny.
I know.
Men here are tiny in their pants. I figured out they're really tiny in their pants. Like little legs and stuff.
I know. I don't belong here.
You are darling.
Thank you. But I'm not tiny in my pants. I'm
heavier
than I've ever been right now.
Well, I mean, maybe you needed this weight on you because I think you're perfect. I mean, and I'm not blowing smoke up your butt. I think you look wonderful, my darling.
Thank you,
I
love.
mean, is that how Hollywood is? You're going to have to be emaciated?
That's what happens. You'll see it. You see
Murder.
it. It happens to all these people.
I don't have any discipline.
That's good.
I don't.
How long did you smoke for?
From about 19 to about 26.
19
and
to
I
26.
quit before I had my babies.
When you were working in restaurants and stuff?
When I was waiting tables,
Waiting
slinging
tables.
hash.
Yeah.
That's
Smoking
what,
by the dumpster.
Yes.
Right.
And slinging hash, I think, means selling marijuana now. I think the young people call it that, but that's not what I was doing. But
Right.
yeah, all the girls that worked in the restaurants all smoked. And they all looked 40, but they were like 19.
Yeah.
And we would all get in the bathroom and smoke instead of taking care of our tables. And then there were the line cooks who were so fun and had some jail time. And I like to smoke with them out by the dumpster because they're fun.
They're fun,
I like
too.
fun stories. I like to hear about jail. I do. I love people and I love to talk about fun, twisted stuff.
Yeah. Do you miss the when you quit, did you just quit or did it take a while?
It took a while. I had to go on a patch, which is horrible. Makes you dream horrible things.
Oh,
and, yeah, dream like somebody's chasing you off a cliff. And you have to
geez.
jump, that kind of stuff.
Oh, jeez.
And then, it took me a while. And then I
Yeah.
kind of snuck. I'll just say this: after I had Charlie, I was in Morristown, Tennessee. Chuck Morgan had moved me there. That's where he was raised. And there were some country club people.
Oh.
And I'm not used to that, but and there were these girls who also did charity work. It was called Junior Reading Circle, like Junior League, but Junior Reading Circle. And at first, I hate to say this because I know you're an academic, but I really thought, oh no, are they going to make me read? But they didn't. You do charity work for different stuff, and then we would sneak and smoke after the Junior Reading Circle meetings. And then Chuck Morgan's got a nose like a hound dog, and he would say, "Have you been?" And I went like, "No, I didn't do it. It was Kelly." And then one night, I put a big turban on my head. I snuck out in my backyard. I was not nursing anymore, anything like that. And I put a turban on. When I say a turban, a towel, so he wouldn't smell the cigarette smoke. And I got out there and I was trying to blow it real hard so he wouldn't smell me. And I looked and I thought, are those somebody's eyeballs? Is that Chuck? It was a big buck deer in my backyard that was staring right at me as I was. And so I flipped that cigarette and kind of burned my hair. And I thought, I got to stop. I mean. So I never have since, and I'm so thankful that was a monkey on my back.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would want it now. When I smell it, it makes me, it's gross to me.
I know.
But it was fun, and I loved it.
And it looks cool.
It looks cool.
You definitely look cool. I never smoked. And I keep these cigarettes here just because it's fun to hold them. But because it is fun I'm not going to do it because it'll trigger you.
And I could lose weight.
I know.
But
the
then
answer's
I couldn't
always
breathe,
Yeah, then you get emphysema and that kind
rattle
of thing.
in your chest, and that's not good in Hollywood.
No, you're so funny when we're out on the road at the same time, and you always text, Tom, they're killing me. What are they doing to me? I don't think I can go on.
It is so hard touring.
Yeah.
And then when I'm here doing this and I'm learning a script every week and thinking I'm going to have a heart attack over that.
Yeah.
Then I miss touring. And then I get back out and have to get on a plane. And I was just in Reno last weekend and I'm doing Palm Springs this Saturday night.
Oh, nice.
But I flew to Reno and was there less than 24 hours and I had a ball and they were darling. But I thought, oh yeah, this is
This is the
hard
grind.
too.
Yeah, I know. But you got to make hay when the sun shines.
You got to make hay when the sun shines.
How is it going on the set of a big fancy movie with fancy Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell and I think
Nick
Fortune
Stoll.
Fortune has a role in it, right?
Fortune does.
Yeah.
Yummy Fortune was the one that said to me, Leanne, there's a piece of tape on the floor. Go stand on it and say your line. I didn't know anything. She helped me so much. I love my
good.
Fortune.
Were you in the same scenes?
We were, yes. We have to do a big stunt. And her character is the one that causes the dock to collapse, and I'm on the dock.
Okay.
But so she was coming and going
Yeah.
and leaving, and I was there the whole time.
Right.
So I would, be so tickled when she came back.
Right.
Because I was scared to death.
But it must
I
have
had
been
a
great.
ball.
Yeah.
I had a ball. And now I think, I wish I could go back and do it again now that I know, I was so nervous during it.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't know what in the world, how everything worked. But Nick Stoller was the director, who is precious. And it's just like being with one of your best friends in high school that you sit by and you don't get any work done.
Yeah.
All right, so we just laughed, and then Will Ferrell, would just come on set and not say a word and give some look, and we would all just bust out laughing. And then Reese, I had met her several years before COVID, at a country music award after party. I didn't get to go. I was nobody. Nobody cared. And I just got invited to the party. And she was there, and we talked, and she was precious and tiny.
Yeah.
And I could have held her like a baby. And she did that for me. She got me that part. They asked me, I was on tour and exhausted, and they said, they want you to do a table read. And I go, what's a table read? And I had to call my best friend, one of my best friends from high school. I graduated with 42 people in this farming community.
Yeah.
And we went to a little high school that had Future Farmers of America. It was not academic. There were a few classes to get you ready for college, but I didn't take those. And I took home ec because I wanted to learn how to make an omelet in a baked Alaska. And flirt. I was so busy, and I played sports. But
I was so busy.
I was busy. My hair, it took a lot for my hair, Tom.
Right.
Back then, I hot rolled.
Yeah.
And I had to boil those rollers in the morning, But
It's a lot.
But I had these some of the most creative people in this little bitty country school. David Alford was in my class, and we had speech and drama, and I took all that and loved that. And I got one part in a play, and it didn't have a speaking part in it. I played Stupefying Jones in Little Abner, and I had to wear a bathing suit and gyrate. But I wanted that part because I thought, I'm going to Hollywood.
Right. You knew.
And I knew. Yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have to say anything. I'm going to gyrate in this bathing suit. And my little daddy, it's in the book, my little daddy said, you didn't have a line? I mean, and it scared him. I had a bathing suit on. And I thought, what? I'm dazzling. Yeah. But David Alford went on to Juilliard and is an actor and does a lot of theater. He's on Broadway, and he was in my class.
Wow.
And then I had these. He was also in a country music band. These 4 boys got a band together and cut an album, but then they all went to college and finished doing whatever they were going to do. But they were wonderful, and they were all theatrical, and we had this wonderful thing in high school. But anyway, I called David and I said, what's a table read? And he goes, you got a table read? He went to Juilliard.
Yeah,
And here I've got
he
a
knows.
movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, great, Leanne. But anyway.
He probably thought you were rubbing it in.
Yeah, and I wasn't. I didn't really know. And he goes, it sounds like they want you. Mm-hmm. So just be you. So I went in the big table read. I'd never done anything like that, and it was so fun, but I was scared to death. And there was some cuss words they wanted me to say, Tom. And I spelled them.
You
And I think that got me the part. I'm not kidding.
Really?
They wanted me to say the F word, and I said F-U-C-K.
Oh, that's
girl,
funny.
or something.
Yeah.
I think I got a laugh, and I think I got it because of that.
Wow. Did they let you spell it when you shot it?
No, they changed it, and so that
do you have a hard fast rule?
I do.
Right.
And Nick Stoller, I did say this to Nick Stoller because I play Gwyneth, Reese Witherspoon's big sister, who is from Buckhead, Atlanta, who is wealthy and thinks she's got a lot on her, but she really doesn't. She's just got to find somebody to polish silver.
Okay.
So, and I know people like that.
Yeah.
So I said to Nick, I go, Nick, because I had 4 children in the movie, and they were always around me. And I said, Nick, a woman in the South with 4 children would not talk like that.
Right.
And he goes, Leanne, we don't. You do that.
Oh,
so
that's
they were
good.
really good to me about all that.
Yeah.
So
Now,
there's a lot of language in this movie, but not me.
But let me ask, would you, because you're clean like me, do you have a hard, fast rule that you wouldn't do it if it was playing a character that Would you not take those
I guess
roles?
I'll never say never, but I would
Prefer not to.
Prefer not to.
Yeah.
I feel like I couldn't do it authentic. I mean, and that's acting, I know, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
But
I was,
Jack McBrayer said to me, Leanne, there's times when it's okay. You do it.
Yeah.
But it feels, you know, and even in this Netflix series, I don't want anything.
Yeah.
Now other people, they write in a little, they pepper a tiny bit, but they know that it's not me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't talk like that.
I'm a grandmother.
You don't talk like that in your real life. So
Right.
why would you bring it into
I'm a mama
your stuff?
and a grandmama.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything that I don't want them to, go around and say.
Does Chuck swear?
Yes.
He does. Around the house?
Not bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, he'll say some stuff. And this baby says cuss words. I prefer her to spell them. It's in my Netflix special. I talk about it. But she's always spell cussed.
Yeah.
And would say at somebody's birthday party, "What's up, mofo?" When she was in first grade.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And she'd call her daddy an a-hole and stuff like that. And he would just get so tickled, and we all thought, and we
Coming from
enabled her. But now that she's 27, she actually says the cuss words. And she knows I don't like it.
Yeah.
S-H-I-T. I don't like it. So in front of me, in front of the makeup artist on the show, she'll try to say S-H-I-T, but she lets them fly too. She does not say the F word.
It's funny. I don't like it in my house. We don't. And, but then the kids roll in and they will once in a while, and they kind of just absorbed it. Like they don't around me or like in the house. But when I hear them with their friends, you like prison stories. I mean, swearing like pirates.
But I think people everywhere now swear like pirates.
I know.
And especially in Los Angeles that I love, I feel like it's very common just in normal common talk to say it.
And I was conscious of that when I was starting my career. And I was like, why, if kids, I remember distinctly walking through Washington Square Park, and there were like kids like 8, 9 years old, and they were F this, F that, F, and I was like, if we're at this point where children are using it, how special, how shocking, it's not going in my act. I'm not going to put it in my act. That should be a special place that's different from all of this. It is amazing. It's everywhere.
I know.
Yeah. I was voted I don't think it was voted. What do you say when the New York Times says you had the best clean special of the year? Would you say you're not nominated? Selected. I was selected as the best clean special of the year. So now, I have to say I'm actually offended that you even spell curse words.
But isn't that wonderful? And look at Nate Bargatze,
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan,
Yeah.
Jerry. Does Jerry say ugly words?
No. No.
And I just have people all the time, and I love Dave Chappelle. I mean, I can listen to it, and I don't care, and I love him. There's several people that I just die over, and then it does not bother me one bit if they say it. But I do think people appreciate it.
It would be hilarious if you came out into one of your shows in your lovely theaters and you just started swearing like that. People would be, what are you doing? What is wrong with you?
I know.
Why do Southern folk love pontoon boats?
Well, I think, and I want one, and I don't have one.
You
and
didn't get it? Because you mentioned in your...
I know.
That was like a goal of yours.
I know.
And why?
And I'm going to do it. Well, we're
Chuck
in between these
it?
houses right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Chuck stops a lot of joy and fun. We had a X game boat because we have lakes in Tennessee.
An X game boat?
When the X Games and they do Crazy Mess on TV? One of our friends worked at a boat manufacturer or something and got us a deal on this boat. And so my kids grew up tubing. Chuck would try to kill my children on a tube. Surfing. skin, all that. And it's this, and it's you hook it to this top thing, X game kind of boat. I don't even know. And I stayed just scared out of my mind. I just stayed and prayed on a boat all summer, and then I'd have to change sheets at night. It really wasn't fun for me. But anyway, but then we had babies, grandbabies, and I said, Chuck, sell that boat, please, because we need a pontoon. So, because my new baby's got red in his hair, and the oldest one's white-headed, and we're all fair people, and I said we need a pontoon boat with shade. And to be able to change diapers, you need to have
a flat surface.
Yes, that's why I want a pontoon boat. But I think that you may be referring to the redneck, like people always on a pontoon.
Yeah, they sing songs about it.
Yeah, and I guess they hang off of it and party on it.
There's like 50 people on it. They really enjoy it.
And sometimes there's even a grill on the back of one, and people grill. Bring a lot of Tupperware. That kind of
So you're
thing.
saying that you have a more elegant pontoon boat?
I would have a more elegant. The one I'm looking at, yes, would be more elegant and may even have a potty on it. You may have to set in like one of those little individual saunas and potty, but like on the back of it. But I think that would be nice.
I liked your little vision. It was you like a lake, and I like that you like a lake that you can just stare at while you're drinking coffee.
Stare at while you're drinking
That's
coffee, and a couple of hummingbirds come around.
That's such a simple, joyful moment. There's nothing better than having coffee and looking at something that you...
Looking at water.
Yeah.
This house that I'm renovating is not on the lake, but I can see it from far away. And I can see the Smoky Mountains.
Oh, nice.
It's up on a hill, so I can see that.
Oh,
but I'm not
really
on
nice.
it. But my friends have a boat dock around the corner, but I don't get to have fun.
But no, you need...
So I don't know when I'm going to ride this pontoon boat. I don't get to...
After the second season gets picked up of the TV show, then Chuck can't say no.
Yeah.
You'll be like, we have to.
I hope it gets picked up.
It's actually a write-off. We have to do it.
We need to do it. I hope this series goes to second.
Warren Buffett says, put your money in pontoon boats. You're enjoying it now. Now you're in a groove.
I am. In the pilot episode, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Mm-hmm. I've never been as scared in my life, Tom. I've had deals, but nothing ever went to a pilot.
Yeah.
And they gave me this big script. I was in every scene, of course. And I thought, wait, what? I've got to learn all this. And then there's a thing called blocking. Mm-hmm. And then, Leanne, pick up the cream when you say the word so-and-so. And you're like, what? I mean, I was crazy.
Yeah.
It scared me to death.
Yeah.
But I had fun.
That's good.
But the scared outweighed the fun.
Who took the scare away? Was it the director? Was it Chuck? Was it another actor?
I just shot my 6th episode, and I have a new director, and I love the old director. I guess they just get...
Yeah, they bounce.
They bounce.
Yeah.
And I have Andy Ackerman now.
Did he bring me up? Did he mention me?
No, but honey, we will, because we're trying to do a television show, but I will tell, so you know him because of Seinfeld?
Because of Seinfeld, in my first TV show, Andy Ackerman was the director and one of the producers. He was like my first my first director who took me in and taught me everything and made me feel calm, because he's such a mellow, lovable, good energy person that, I adored Andy Ackerman. And we had this run together, and he was just like the guiding light.
Oh, he just did this 6th episode.
He's going to do more? Uh-huh. Oh, good.
And I fell in love with him. Mm-hmm. If he is not precious and gives me so much direction, because I'm new, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I do think that's why they give comedians sitcoms. We're meant for that. Mm-hmm. And we've got that time. And in front of a live audience, I can thrive.
Yeah.
But I still don't, I'm not an actress. And so sitcom is kind of like over the top kind of reaction to stuff. Yeah. And Kristen Johnson is a pro.
Right.
And they put pros around me to help me. And so Andy gives me a lot of direction this last episode that really helped me because I
nice.
don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's all right. And sometimes they were afraid to say it because they don't want to, but you want it. Just tell me how to stand.
Yes, because
Tell me
I'm in
what
my
to
own
do.
head. Yeah, tell me if it's funnier to do that or to do that. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I know what's funny.
Right.
I feel like I've got that gift.
Yeah.
But if they're seeing something, I want them to tell me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, he's
I love
great.
him. And Chuck Lorre flew to my house and sat on my porch and held my grandbabies.
Wow.
He said, I don't want her to come to Hollywood. I want to go see where she lives. I want to see her house. I want to see her.
Man.
And so, yeah, I know. So to have him and the things he said to me.
The best.
The best.
What do you mean the things he said?
He said, Leanne, when I watched your Netflix special, he talked about the book about when they write about it takes 10,000 hours to master something. He said, that's the first thing I thought is she's mastered this. Mm-hmm. But, I've been doing comedy for 25 years. A lot of people don't know that. And somehow in this narrative in my PR, it's gotten out that I'm just like all of a sudden in my 50s said, I'm going to give this a whirl and go stand in the McDonald's parking lot and talk. And I've been doing this for 25 years.
Yeah.
And he said, I can tell. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that made me feel good to have that validation.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of deals, but none of them have made it. And I've had Matt Williams and Mike Clements and all these wonderful people say, you're meant to do a sitcom.
Do you feel like, you had all these years doing it and mastering your craft, and you, even way before when you were little, you knew you were going to do this. Do you feel like the big break was the first time you were on this podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yes. And I think about it, Tom. Honest to goodness, though, I had a manager at the time that I'm no longer with, and he just dropped me off. And I knew what a big deal it was to be with you and be on your podcast. And when I say that, I'm not blowing smoke up your butthole. I have loved you, and I have been such a huge fan of yours for years. And I would look at somebody like you and think, oh my gosh, I know I can, if I could just be out there in LA, because they never would let me do spots in New York or LA. I would do something for Nick at Night, some little contest, funniest mom in America.
Yep.
Where people put asparagus up their nose. And I just wanted so badly, I would see your name everywhere and I would want to go. And so it was a big deal to me to be on your podcast. It really was.
It was a delight. It was, and we hit it off right away. And I feel like I'm the reason you're on film and television.
Probably so, Tom Papa. And then I got to finally do a set with you at the Laugh Factory with Jenny Johnson had that night where in the lab.
Oh, right, in the lab
in
at
that
the improv.
Little room.
Right, that tiny little
the
room.
Improv.
Yeah.
How do y'all do all this?
Yeah, and you were like, and you had already, been doing it forever, and you were legit nervous. Like, this is...
Well, I looked in the audience, and, Joel Kim, what is his name? That's
Booster.
Booster was going to go up. And you, and me and you, and Chris Rock's little brother. Is
right.
Yeah, and so I got on stage, and I saw all these boys doing this, and I realized they were there for Joel Kim. It was a lot of little boys that looked like, you remember when Mike Myers would play that character with the black turtleneck? Yeah. It was all little boys doing that, and I was like, oh no, shit. So I pulled out the old, old people going to concerts, Def Leppard and Journey, and that guy looked like he had a hernia. That's all. When I always feel like I'm churning and something bad's going to happen, I go, all right, old people at concerts, I'll just pull that old thing out.
Yeah, but I always find that the smaller the room when it's not your people, that's the most terrifying.
Terrifying.
Like a big crowd, you can be like, I can ride this, I can work with this. But when it's like 20 people in a cool space just looking at you, I still get nervous.
And that's what they did to me. They were like, who is this grandmother from Tennessee? Does she wear shoes? Ryan Stiles said to me we had to do a scene with a gun, like I thought I had an intruder. And he goes, I didn't know how to hold it. And he goes, how do you not know how to hold it? You're from Tennessee. And I guess people think we go around packing a bunch of guns. Yeah. I never held a gun in my life. My dad never had a gun. No, Chuck Morgan didn't have one. He did shoot some skeet with my boy who was on the high school shooting team that shoots skeet.
Right.
When he was in high school.
Right.
But no. I guess they think it's like the Wild West. But no, we're not out there packing guns. People have, and hunt and do all that. But yeah, I never held a gun.
Do you guys have ATVs and you all?
People do. I don't allow them. People get killed on them.
Yeah.
I don't like that. My grandbabies do have a little John Deere 2-seater tractor toy that you can get at Target where they can drive and it's got a little battery in it.
Right, that's cute.
I will allow that kind of yummy stuff.
Right.
But no, I wouldn't like a golf cart someday.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
In my life. Wouldn't that be? I think that would be fun.
Doll it up.
Because, see, I'm from the country and we're farming people, but my people always had a business too.
Right.
A meat processing plant. And I was just on Jimmy Kimmel and they were fascinated by that and they wanted to talk about meat. So we sat and talked about meat most of my interview, and my sister and I worked in it, and all my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and local high school kids. And so we had a business too. So we weren't out riding ATVs. I know people do. God love them, whatever.
Yeah.
But we didn't have all that. No.
You have civilized pontoon boats.
Pontoon boats and grew a little soybeans and alfalfa.
Jimmy likes to talk about food. Jimmy was here, and we talked about food the whole time.
Well, he was precious to me, and I was so nervous, because I've been on Seth Meyers and then Jimmy Kimmel. I've never gotten to be on Jimmy Fallon. I don't know if I'll ever be. I mean, I don't know if he'll ever want me, but Jimmy
he'll
Kimmel.
Go if you want to.
Well, so far, I don't think anybody cares. But anyway, but Jimmy, they said, Leanne, he'll love you and it'll be sweet. And he was precious.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. I ended up having a wonderful time. I was torn up, but I ended up having a wonderful time. I'm just so nervous. I'm not used to all this stuff.
And you're going to shoot another special?
Yes, in June in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wow.
We chose there.
Nice.
Because I've been working like a mule and there's nowhere else to film it. But I've been a lot of places. And I really wanted Dallas at the Majestic.
Yeah.
But I do well in Texas, but they are renovating that or something. But I wanted the South after the Netflix special, and that legitimate. I mean, that's like the stamp.
Yeah.
So then I started selling all over the United States, and I'm going to finally get to go to Boston and
nice
that I've never gotten to do. But I wanted to film it in the South because when I'm in the South, honey, if I just go, they throw their person there. So I need that electricity. They tried to get me to do it in Florida, and I love Florida, and they're darling, and I do well in Florida. But it's a mix of different people from different places, and not everybody throws their person there.
Right.
And I need purses thrown in there. So I wanted somewhere like, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, New Orleans, anywhere down in there. North Carolina, I do well in North Carolina, South Carolina, but I wanted somewhere there. But it's I think it's a historic theater.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be nice. That's because that'll be, like 3 years since the other one came out?
The other one came out in 2023, April.
In 23? Yeah. So it'll be about 2 years.
2 years. Right. I think we'll put it out in November.
Oh, that's perfect.
And I'm hoping, I don't know for sure, but I think my Netflix sitcom, there'll drop 8. Then my Netflix special will come out, and then they'll drop another 8. I think is what they're thinking.
Yeah.
And then the movie comes out on Amazon Prime January the 30th. And let's hope somebody that people love that. It was funny and wacky and cute. It was supposed to come out during the wedding season last year because it's a wedding movie. two families overbook one venue.
Right.
And we fight. And
who are you in it?
I'm Reese's big sister, Gwyneth, and her family. Rory Scoville's my brother. Meredith Hagner's our little sister.
Nice.
Celia Weston is my mother, who is my mother in my sitcom.
Oh, really?
Yes, who was on Mel's Diner.
Yeah.
In the 80s, and this
Jeez.
wonderful actress, Broadway and movies, and she's precious from South Carolina.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and then Will and his daughter and all of her bridesmaids and groomsmen, and we're all fighting over the same venue.
That's funny.
Yeah, and there's alligators and it's nuts. and my character, I'm the oldest in the family, and they've got that's a wig on my head. I want you to know that.
What?
Tom.
You're wearing a wig?
I'm wearing a little topper. Because they said this woman in Atlanta Buckhead's got to have her hair done perfect gets her hair shampooed and set 2 to 3 times a week, and I love the character. It was fun.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that'll
be
out.
good. That'll be and then that run in November will be huge because you'll have the special and the show. That'll be great.
And I'm still on Just Getting Started tour. I think I've done a little over 100 dates. I've got 200 cities.
Right.
So I'll be still, I guess, doing that. Well, I mean, that'll hit. That will drop, and then I've got to come up with a whole new hour.
Are you doing that now?
You're going to have to write it.
Are you doing that now?
I'm doing a little bit.
But you can't. You're working on TV.
I'm thinking and doing, but
it's too hard.
In my mind.
Yeah.
I've only got room for this script every week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's why I'm taking all that magnesium, and I'm taking fish oil, and I go to bed at 8.
Do you really go to bed at 8?
I really try to get in the bed.
Schedule?
I try to get 8 hours of sleep a night.
Right. So wait, 8. So what time are you getting up?
I'm a grandmama, so I get up early. Okay, Monday's a table read, and that's not like till 10 o'clock, and then we do a little rehearsal. And then Tuesday's usually 9 to 3, Wednesday's 9 to 3, something like that. And then very long days on Thursday. We shoot the scenes we can't shoot in front of an audience because I've got my elderly parents in it, Celia and Blake Clark. Blake Clark plays my daddy. You know, Blake Clark, the stand-up who has done all the Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Precious.
Great.
We just sit and squeeze each other. All right. They shoot a lot of scenes with them on Thursday, so that's a long day. And then Friday's audience. Please come and see it.
No,
Will y'all please come and see it?
Yeah.
And laugh real big even when you don't feel it.
So you're not in the writer's room?
I go a little bit, and I will, but not a lot.
That's good.
I don't have the capacity.
No, that's twice as long.
Yeah, and they know what they're doing. I just punch. I'll just say, well, I would say this or I would say that.
Yeah.
And but they're all Nick Bakay, Susan McMartin.
Oh,
They've
wow.
all and Mark Gross.
Wow.
And all these wonderful people.
Man, it's such a there's so few being made now that you can get the best of the best and just put them on your show. It's pretty great.
I still can't. When I am in a fetal position at night, Tom, and thinking, I can't do this. What am I? Who am I? And go through an imposter syndrome and feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And then I think, and I'm so grateful. I am. But I'm scared. And that's why I think people get on dope in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You go through all these emotions.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder. If I were 20 and came out here and did this, I would end up on something.
And a bunch of money thrown at you and all the rest of it. Yeah, absolutely. What's up with Chuck? So is he out here?
Chuck Morgan is still over a division of a company, a Warren Buffett company. Oh. And people ask me all the time, they go, when's he going to quit? And I'm like, we're never letting him quit.
Yeah.
We need health insurance and he needs purpose. Chuck Morgan is an overachiever, driven executive. And they ask him, he's been with this company for over 30 years, and they ask him to start this new division. It's been so stressful. But he likes stress. I realized this after being married to him for 30-something years. I said, because he's had every position at that company and done. He's a problem solver. He's the guy they get to do crap that nobody else wants to be tormented with. But he likes to be tormented. And I figured that out because I said, why don't you be like some of these other boys and drink Diet Coke and go home at 4?
Yeah.
And he's like, I would not be contributing. and I need to be what I'm supposed to be, and I've got things to do.
Right.
And so I realized that he likes to stay torn up. He likes to stress, and he likes a challenge, and he likes to know he's important, that he's doing something that will help people.
Right.
He really does.
So what's it like being apart? I mean, you're apart
It's
for
bad, and
months
it's
at a time
odd.
now, right? It's got to be weird.
Well, 2 or 3 weeks at a time.
2 or 3
like
weeks.
he's coming out next week.
Okay.
But that's the first time he's come out. But okay, so I started in October, so I got Thanksgiving off, so I got to be with him then. Then I got 3 weeks off at Christmas, and so he's coming out next week.
Wow.
So
it's a lot.
hard,
yeah,
though.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
He would probably like for me to take pictures of myself and send them, but I'm not doing it, Tom. My neck doesn't look right.
They have filters for that.
I need to learn those filters and sit on the side of the van in my rental house. But yeah,
So
it's hard. And it's
yeah,
hard being
that's-
away from my other children. And that's been the hardest part is
Yeah.
because I'm a mama
Well,
before
yeah.
I am a comedian.
And you also built a life where it seems like everybody's in the same.
Yeah.
You have a little compound. Everybody's all there.
They're near me. And yeah, we're up each
How did
other's
you-
butts.
How did you pull that off? Because people just leave now and they go to different
I
places.
know. And I don't want to stifle my children. I swear they could have gone anywhere to school they wanted to and all that. But my son works under my husband in that division. He hasn't always, but he's been there now about a year. That's a really good company. In Knoxville, there's like 2 companies everybody works for, and that's one of them. And my son just loves the Smoky Mountains. He's an outdoorsman. He likes to fly fish. He used to be a fly fishing guide. So they just kind of settled there. And his
Right.
wife, who's from Atlanta, and they met in Georgia when they went to school, she loved Knoxville. So I'm very
Right.
lucky
Yeah, you're
that
lucky.
she clings to us.
Yeah, and it's a great place. I'm asking because my kids one is flirting with New York and one is flirting with California, and I don't know how that means. I'm just flying back and forth to stalk them.
Yeah.
Or do I just get a place near the Smoky Mountains and try and make them come to me?
Come to you. You could.
We do a thing on this program called An Uncomfortable Moment. And we're good friends, so I hesitate to do it, but we do research. We have our researchers take a deep dive, and sometimes we uncover stuff, and it's usually not bad.
Is it my sin in the 80s?
Well, close.
Thank goodness I didn't have a phone then.
There's I read your book, and it's delightful, and you cover most things in your life, and some things seem to be missing.
I wanted to tell all of it, and my agent said, honey, you're not Joan Crawford yet. He goes, let's do a cookbook next, and then you can talk about your sin and the third one. Okay.
One thing that was omitted that we found, and I think it's time that we both come clean about it. You want to tell people about our when we went to the prom together?
Oh, would we have not had a good time
We
at
would
the
have had
prom?
a great time. I know.
Do you like R&B?
Yeah.
See, we would have busted a move. And then made out in a car.
And then made out in a car.
Made out in
and
a car.
smoked cigarettes.
And smoked cigarettes. Cute.
Who did you go to the prom with?
My high school boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Warren Corbin, that I thought I was going to marry and have 6 children and raise tobacco with and can my own food. Little Warren Corbin, I started dating him when I was 16, and I followed him to the University of Tennessee, and I made that poor thing, God love him, I made him come home and go to my prom. Because he was already in college.
That's so nice.
And my hair was bigger than he was. He was tiny and had tiny pants and so sweet. And he liked R&B, but he'd just barely move and kind of move his neck. And but he was very sweet. I think he was narcoleptic because we would get out in his Monte Carlo and make out on his farm. They were big tobacco farmers. And he would fall asleep. And then I wouldn't know how to get out of there. I wouldn't know what field we were in. But he drove a Monte Carlo that was as long as this building that you do your podcast in. And I followed him to the University of Tennessee, and I thought, and I hate to say this to you because I know you're academic, but I thought, I'll go to college. My parents said either college or the military, and good Lord. I couldn't go in the military. God love them. I love my military, and I could not do that. I'm too sissy. So I thought, I'll just go for a little while. But I'm going to marry Warren, and I'm going to have a bunch of babies. Even though in my mind, I'm the whole time thinking I'm also going to Hollywood, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got to UT, and he was in a fraternity, and he was drinking, and they would have a band, and he would get up and drunk sing Rick James, Super Freak. He didn't know the words. And I was coming off of a United Methodist Youth Fellowship. And my feet would be stuck to the floor because of beer, and I didn't like that feeling. I felt Satan there, and I would nag him and say, you don't need to be doing this. And then he thought, well, you're not fun, and he broke up with me. And my freshman year, and I grieved like somebody died and sat in my dorm room and watched Purina dog commercials and bawled my eyes out. Should have come home probably.
Yeah.
And then one night I went out clubbing at Gabby's with a shirt dress on and big hair, and I got over it. and I think I told you I made out with a couple of boys from New Jersey.
Yep.
And Italian boys. I'd never seen those before. And I was so tickled, and I got over little Warren. And then Warren wanted me back, and we get drunk and throw rocks at my apartment window.
Oh, no.
So yeah, it was back and forth, back and forth. But I made him go to the prom with me. And I took it very seriously. And I had my little daddy would take me to Nashville. And I bought a sequin gown. I was the first one to have a sequin.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fancy. Well, you were Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Do you like what Nashville is now? Is it too much?
I'm not there a lot,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm there some, but
It's a lot.
it's a lot. But it's booming. I mean, it is booming.
It is booming.
I just grew up going to the doctor in the mall. But now, I mean, there's girls' legs jiggling on those streets downtown. You know, there's always a bachelorette, and
Always
everybody's legs are
yeah.
jiggling. And they're on scooters, and you're worried about a brain bleed. And,
Yeah, and those
and you
booze
smell
carts.
urine. To me, but it's still beautiful Nashville, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And Franklin, beautiful. But like Burt
rhyme
Kreischer,
and-
I think Burt Kreischer's going to buy a house there. I mean, a
Oh,
lot
really?
of people are going and
Yeah.
doing there. A lot of LA people have moved there.
It's nice to tour from there. It cuts down on your flying everywhere. Flying,
And I heard
touring
that
from
may
here
be
is
why he's
pretty
doing
rough.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Knoxville's not easy to tour from. We've got one little airport and it's precious, but it's only like 12 gates. So I have to connect everywhere. But Nashville, it's big internationally.
yeah.
It would be easier for me. And little Reese Witherspoon looked at me and said, "Are you moving to Nashville?" And I went, "No, because I want to be near my children.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you got it all. You got it all set up. You can't blow that up.
I can't blow that up."
No.
honey. But yeah, lots going on in Nashville.
Yeah. Well, no, you're gonna live in L.A. now. Maybe they could move the shoot to Tennessee.
I don't know if Chuck Lorre would ever want to do that because he's got 5 going right now out here.
Does he 5 right
He's
now?
got 5.
God, this guy
Bookie.
is what a wonder.
Yeah, he's got Bookie with Sebastian, and then George and Mandy. I'm trying to think of what all they are. They told me like 5 going.
Amazing, and he's
Yeah.
been like that forever.
I know.
Jeez.
I know. And
Oh,
when he's on
brilliant.
set, he's kind of pulled back. You know, he's not because he's got other shows. But like he'll say, "Do it this way," and you'll be like, I mean, brilliant.
And
Like
it
he just knows.
He just knows.
He just
God.
knows.
How brilliant. So lucky to be working with him.
I know.
Yeah.
That he picked me.
Well, it's well deserved.
Thank you, Tom.
So that means you're going to be out here till when?
April. I mean, well, now we pushed because of the fires. And last week, I mean, the first week of May is my 16th episode. You know, if everything
May.
goes all right.
Okay.
And then I don't know when I'll know if they'll let me do it again.
You and your daughter should come over for dinner.
I would love that. She would love that.
That would be
Tom.
great. We'll cook for you.
Oh, you angel from
Yeah.
heaven. You know what I need to do? I need to get a big poster of LA and all the towns, and I need to frame it and put it on the wall at my rental and figure out where everything is.
I've been here for 12 years, and I don't know where everything is.
You don't?
No. No. When people say to me like Eagle Rock and all those other places, I'm just like, that's where the cool kids live, I guess, because I don't know where it is or the difference between them. I don't get it. No.
I know when people go Sherman Oaks and then, I'm going to Palm Springs and I don't know where it is. I've worked there twice, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So it's just odd to me, in the fires when I was trying to watch all that, like where is everything? We had to evacuate.
You did?
Did you?
No, we were on standby. If it had come over that ridge, we had to go, but never did. Those fire people did an amazing job that night and stopped it from coming to all these other neighborhoods. That was impressive. You had to evacuate?
I had to evacuate, and I don't know where I live, but I think I'm near Laurel Canyon.
Okay.
So it was that Sunset Boulevard. We went down Sunset Boulevard, and it was on fire, and we could see the fire, and cars were pulling out in front of each other, and people were running down the street with suitcases, and it was like a movie.
Jeez.
But I was out here working on my hour I'm doing now when y'all had the biblical floods.
Yeah.
January 2023. I was out here working out new material when they said it's like an ark.
Right.
They had the word ark in articles, and everybody was running through the streets.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it being real bad.
Yeah.
But everybody was torn up over that.
But it was, and it rained
rained a month.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, well,
I hope I don't bring locusts
Maybe
next.
God's just trying to clean things up out here.
I know if there's frogs start coming out of the sky, it's my fault. But I've loved my time out here. I can't believe it. I've dreamed of this all my life.
Yeah.
And I look at Mulholland Drive and Lorre, because I came out here before Chuck and I married. My sister worked in Huntington Beach, and we came out to visit her, and Chuck and I were dating. And he said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to go to the Comedy Store, and I want to go on that Hertz tour where you see where people were murdered." And he thought that was so morbid, and he was riding in that hearse with me, but he was in love with me. And I was like, "That's where Fatty Arbuncle fell on that woman and burst her bladder." And he goes from the 20s, and he goes, "How do you have all this useless information in your head?" Because he reads and knows a lot of stuff. He's very smart. And I go, "That's where Bugsy Siegel was shot down in his house. And Salminio was stabbed in the alley." And, and he was like, "Who are these people?" But I loved old Hollywood.
Old Hollywood,
and then I went to the Comedy Store, and I got to see, I remember Don Herrera. And I got to see him in Montreal this year, and I told him, it meant the world to me to see you.
Amazing, yeah.
And I, even though I knew I was going to Hollywood, but I didn't know how. I knew I could be funny, and I was a good storyteller in high school. When I saw at the Comedy Store, finally at a comedy club, I thought, that's it. That's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And my heart was beating out of my body, and I thought, that's it.
How old were you then?
I was probably 25, 26.
Right. It all worked out.
It all worked out.
Man,
I'm not crazy.
No, you were right the whole time.
Did you ever go through a spell where you thought, okay, maybe I'm crazy? Maybe I'm thinking I'm like these kids on American Idol that think they can sing. I went through that. I thought maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And then, then I get a little validation. I was never working big gigs like you were. I was always doing, like a breast cancer fundraiser or all those things to be a mom and a few clubs a year. But I would get a deal out of Hollywood every once in a while, every few years, and it would keep me going, even though it didn't work.
No, I mean, that was the one thing that stood out in your book was just knowing the path and knowing what it takes to do this, and reading the stories of every time you would consider going to do a gig, it was, well, do they have a babysitter? Or what am I going to do with my kid? Like the whole enterprise of running a giant family and making sure everyone is taken care of while doing this is just a whole different level. It's just it's like you should be graded on a curve. It's twice as hard. It's twice as difficult. But the other part is it informs all of your comedy. So
it did.
It is a blessing.
And it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Even though I wanted to be out here with y'all. I don't know how y'all do it going from club to club every night. And I couldn't have done that with 3 babies.
No, it's a different thing.
And that grind would have killed me and I don't think I could have handled that, what people go through out here or in New York. But out there, even though I didn't get to do all this fun and be with the cool kids, I did get to be a mama.
Yeah.
And so I do have this authenticity of I really, and Reese Witherspoon every day on that, because we were a family in these wedding scenes, and Meredith Hagner was on one side of me, and that's Goldie Hawn's daughter-in-law, married to White. And she's in everything, and White's an actor. And Reese would be talking to her, and she would say, you've got to move out of L.A. to have a community to help you raise these kids, because she's got 2 babies. Uh-huh. And she said it was just so hard for me, everybody's trying to hustle with work. Mm-hmm. You need a community. You could find that in Nashville or Atlanta or whatever. It's what she said. But Reese would look at me and say, you got to raise your own children, Leanne. Mm-hmm. Every day. Yeah. You got to raise your own children. And I'll go, but these little women that have been hustling out here, had to have help.
Yeah, yeah. No, but, then comedians, everyone has their own path. But then you see, the cool kids seeing what you did, and there's no way they could have done that. There's no way. Everyone has their own path.
Yeah, I was ironing all those little uniforms. Yeah. And cooking. I like a crock pot, which I know is not culinary, but it helps when you got a bunch of kids.
Well, before you leave, I'll show you how culinary we are on this program. We do a taste test of stuff that we don't make. I make this beautiful bread for you, and I've been working on this for days. But we also try things out that maybe we don't normally have in our everyday life. And today we're going to try Flip's blueberry donut flavored covered pretzels.
Wow. At first I thought, is that a prop?
No.
There's that actually out.
What's that?
With little children eating this.
Yeah. There's actually people eat this, buy this. I can't open it.
That's another thing. I think I'm losing all the grip in my hands. That's why my 27-year-old is also living with me. She can still open stuff.
Did we get those scissors that we were going to get?
I have to carry scissors on tour with me, just a little pair, just in case I need to open something.
It's the worst. And I don't think it's us. I think it's become more difficult. Look, we have a young person who can't open the flips.
Because of terrorist, or why are they doing that?
Here, Rach, here's a little knife. Look at this.
I do love a pretzel. And I do love a chocolate-covered pretzel. Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a blueberry-covered pretzel.
Blueberry donut. And I do love a blueberry donut.
So it could work out for us.
It could work out for us. And I love donuts, but I can't eat them. I feel like I've taken a Valium.
Here you go. Ooh, they smell. You smell it?
It smells like a blueberry donut from Dunkin' Donuts. Mm-hmm. It's like you're eating a blueberry donut at Dunkin'. At the end, you finish with a pretzel. That's what it's like. To me, it's the donut first, and then you end with that note, that pretzel note.
The pretzel note. I think I love it.
It's pretty good.
Right?
It is. It's good.
Be honest. You go home, and you have my bread on the counter, and you have those blueberry donut pretzels. Which goes first?
That.
Yeah.
That's fun and a nice treat at the end of the night. Mm-hmm. That is, I'm getting in my gown and I'm going to eat that loaf of bread. There's nothing like bread. Mm-hmm. And maybe should I stay authentic in Hollywood and have a big butt?
Yes.
On screen, because people in the United States want to see my big butt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't want me to go Hollywood.
No,
they tell me they don't want my neck to be fixed.
No, and I realize this: if you chase skinny, we're never going to be as skinny as those people who are legit skinny. It's like we'll think in our mind, well, I lost this much. This is it. It's not going to change. No one's ever going to. You're beautiful. Don't change it.
Thank you,
Don't
Angel.
stop
Well,
eating
look
bread.
on my Instagram. They put up a picture of me at 17 in Daytona Beach on my senior trio.
I saw it. Yeah.
I had a metabolism. But that was, I'm from farming people. We killed our own beef and grew our own food. We didn't eat processed.
Yeah.
Mama didn't get to buy this because we
No.
were so far out of town. That is heaven.
Yeah, it is heaven. Well, send me a picture of your daughter eating it.
Oh, I thought you wanted a picture of me in my gown.
Well, I was going to say that off air. I was
In
waiting.
my
I
summer
was
gown.
waiting until we were off air for that. I love you. Thank you
love
for coming.
you.
I'm glad this worked out.
You, Angel, thank you for having patience with me and letting me come when I could because
No,
they're
I know-
working me like a mule.
I know
you
you're
know
super
that.
busy. It really does mean a lot that you made some time. It's nice. But during this time, if you get any breathing room, we should have you over to the house. We'll have dinner.
I would love that.
Yeah,
my
it'll be
Tom.
great.
You angel.
Love you.
I love you.
Got it.